Hello, Collateral Gaming listeners. Chazzle Dazzle here from the Trial by Error Variety Show podcast. I just wanted to take a few seconds to invite you guys over to what we do. No, it's not video games, but we do invite really awesome and unique bands from all over the world. We dig deep into their souls and find really cool stories to tell you, and there's tons of music every week, so subscribe to us wherever you subscribe to your podcast. We look forward to having you.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Zachary Gio.
This is Collateral Gaming.
Welcome to Collateral Gaming, everybody, the only video game podcast that matters, where we talk about good games, bad games, and everything in between. And today, we have something very, very special, very, very awful for you to talk about. Ash, what are we talking about, man?
We are talking about the legendary, the infamous Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, colloquially known as Sonic 06.
Yeah! I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had to do a bad game review, and I asked Zach, I was like, you know, what do you want to pick for a bad game, man? And he almost immediately was like, Sonic 06.
Dude, it's the worst ever. I swear, if my friend Mikey gets to listen to this, he's just going to be like on his knees worshiping what we're saying. Dude, he hates this game so much. And this game, okay, while it's not the worst game of all time, and it's not even close, I mean, dude, we're not even going to talk about those Cabela's Big Hunters and stuff like that. Okay. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is very, very easily the worst game in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And everybody has known about Sonic for at least in our generation. We have all known and loved Sonic since we were little kids. He's awesome. Sonic Adventure is one of the best Sonic games of all time. Like, I love that game. I originally played it on the Dreamcast, and then I played Sonic Adventure 2. I got a GameCube, and I got to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and that, oh my God, it was so good. And then I finally got my hands on an Xbox, and I had known that a game had come out in 2006 for Sonic, and I was like, oh boy, let's do this. I was so hyped. I was loading in the game, installing the update. I was pumped. And I tell you what, dude, I loaded up, and literally the first stage that I get to, it's called Crisis City. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's the first action stage that you play as Sonic, and it's pretty dope. So I think I have that right. Is Crisis City the very first one?
No, I think the first one was the beach, because you start out in Soliana and then
the Wave Ocean. Yeah, that's right. It was the Wave Ocean.
Yeah, Wave Ocean, which is such a dumb fucking name, by the way. Wave Ocean, really? Wave Ocean.
I mean, we were just talking about Sonic Adventure, and I mean, the very first stage is called the Emerald Coast. That is a beautiful name for a stage, and I'm really sorry about being wrong about the first stage, everybody. You could tell that I really don't like this game, and I don't really retain a lot of information about it. So you're going to hear Ash and I fumble over a lot of stuff, but that just kind of shows you just how terrible this game is.
I played about as much as I could tolerate, and I watched the playthrough for the rest. And it's not good. Nothing about this is good. I mean, the story is bad. The gameplay is bad. There are some interesting concepts here in terms of gameplay that, if actually polished and fleshed out, could have been good. But it's just under the absolutely horrendous controls and this very awkwardly acted and awkwardly contrived story. Also, I mean, this game has it all, right? It's got bestiality, it's got horrible controls, bad acting.
It truly makes for a remarkably terrible game. I also don't like how, take Wave Ocean, for example. Halfway through that stage, you switch to Tails. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, give me full stages with every character.
You can't even fucking play as Tails, because the entire time he's running around, his tail is making this fucking annoying sound. You try playing with that for more than 5 minutes. It's not fun. And honestly, the total shift in controls in the first level was just so jarring, and Tails is not as fun to play as because he's got like one attack style. He can throw bombs, or he can snipe them from far away if you hold the button down. But I mean, that's it. There's no like direct attack, so and the flying controls are just totally off.
Oh yeah, dude, it's everything about it is off. Now, okay, now while we are going to absolutely harp on and destroy this game, there are some really cool aspects of it. Some of the cinematics are really good.
The cutscenes actually look really nice. It's just extremely jarring when you go from these actually beautiful graphics to actual gameplay graphics, and sometimes you'll have a whole cinematic that's just rendered in the in-game graphics.
Oh yeah, like the very beginning of the game, where I think they're at the Festival of the Sun, and Eggman pops out of nowhere and captures Princess Elise the Third, I think that's her name, and Sonic immediately chases after her, running towards where the Wave Ocean stage starts, and like that whole area is filled with Dr. Eggman's mechs, and it's really cool. And you remember in Sonic Adventure that one part during Emerald Coast where the camera turns to the front of Sonic and you're running away from that giant whale, like the orca?
Yeah.
All right, so there's something like that in that stage, but at one point you're running from it, and then you have to jump and latch onto the fin, and that's really, really cool. But
yeah,
it's right after that like the next leg is when Tails comes in, and it just kind of, because you have to use Tails to flip a switch in order to close the gate so that the orca doesn't escape into open water. You got to capture it. And it's really cool, but it's also really clunky and just terrible. Like, it looks cool, but it feels like you're holding vomit and you're controlling chunks.
Yes.
That's a gross way to describe it, but that's how it feels. It's terrible.
Well, it's like, and what's crazy is that the game takes a concept. I mean, I think the whole idea was to kind of bring Sonic back to its roots and literally do, what if we had the classic Sonic games in a 3D style and in full HD? And what happens as a result instead is that I lost my train of thought there.
No, it's all good. This game will make you do that. So
it's okay. So like, a lot of it is just completely automated. So it's not even as badass as you want it to be. I mean, you'll let go of the controller for like a solid 30 seconds and then pick up again, and the control style changes and the camera changes, and you're really not sure exactly what you're supposed to do. And not only that, but the game just slows to a crawl, so you don't even at points, and so you don't even get that full Sonic the Hedgehog experience. You get some of it kind of half-assed. But, I mean, I believe the story here was that, they had an extremely small development team because they had a whole other team working on a Sonic game on the Wii while this was being developed for the 360 and PS3. So they have an extremely small team, and they rushed development. Bug reports were ignored. I suffer to say if this game was play-tested at all beyond very basic non-game breaking glitches.
Dude, I mean, honestly, at a certain point, see, I'm stumbling over my words too. At a certain point, once you get through the game, you're just kind of hoping for the next glitch. You want to see just how bad the game can screw up. Like, there's 2 or 3 points in almost every stage where you can just fall through the map. And I don't know if this happened to you, but I would just fall through, and sometimes I would lose my progress, like the entire file, and I'd have to start all the way over. And that was just one of the other wonderful additions that Sega put in this game. And it's truly an amazing experience to just be cruising through a stage and you're actually doing really well despite all of the problems, and then just a hole in the ground that you can't see opens up and you're falling forever. And once you finally pull yourself out, your save file's gone. I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but I can't imagine that they have.
Well, I had to play the beginning so many times over. Between my 360 red ringing of death and crapping out on me, which isn't this game's fault.
It could be.
Good point. My 360 crashed when I put Sonic the Hedgehog in.
Yeah, I mean,
just think
let's
about
be honest. This game is a red ring of death. Like, your Xbox was probably so disgusted by the fact that you put that disc in your console that it just ended it all.
I know. I know. It was
So
like
sad.
you had Dead Space 2 in here. I remember I took Dead Space 2 out of my 360 because it's the last 360 game I played, last game we did on the podcast. And I took that out and I put Sonic 06 in. And my 360 said, no, fuck that. So I pulled out my other one. This one, by the way, is in perfect condition, right? It looks great. It was actually my grandmother's, and she gave it to us when she retired it, right?
Are you talking about the Xbox?
Yeah. But then my other Xbox 360, the original one, which was beaten to crap because we were kids and has huge chunks out of the exterior, that was the one that still works. So go figure.
Hey man, sometimes the passion that kids put into a video game console tells it, no, you're not dying on me.
Yeah.
Well, your grandma, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. Your grandma sounds awesome because she had an Xbox 360.
I don't know about that. She's a QAnon and Trump supporter. It's we're not going to get into politics here, but she's one of the bad ones. One of like the really conspiracy theory ones.
Yeah, but I bet she asks you if you've eaten.
No.
Oh, damn.
Well, no, instead she just makes like passive aggressive remarks like, someone left fingerprints on the stove. But she does give us a lot of shit when she doesn't need it anymore. That's the thing. Is like she'll buy all the shit that she doesn't need, but then she'll give it to us when she realizes she doesn't need it. So that's what happened with the 360. She was no longer playing it, and I mean, by the way, this is well after the 360 was the dominant console at the time. This was more recently. But it was great because I had a 360 that wasn't beaten to hell to play, but now it's broken. We digress. So between that problem, which conveniently happened right when I was playing Sonic 06, you don't even understand. Okay, I'm trying desperately hard to play this game that is bad. First of all, I had trouble getting a copy of it. Originally, I couldn't find a 360 copy, so I was going to get a PS3 copy. And I did. I bought a PS3 copy of the game. I don't have a PS3. I have a PS4, but I don't have a PS3. My wife has a PS3. But in the middle of this, my wife and I aren't talking, so I can't play the PS3 now. All right, well, fine. Looks like there's a 360 version out. It's like $20. Whatever. I play the 360 version, and then this shit happens. I can't even get to the first level without the game crashing on me. And so this happens, and then I go, okay, well, Bo's got an Xbox One. Let me just go over to his place, and I'll play on his Xbox One, and yeah. This game isn't compatible. It's one of the games that isn't backwards compatible, and there's no reason it ever will be. You can't download the game off the store. You have to buy a physical copy. So I go to all this trouble just trying to play this fucking game, and I'm not getting any help because Sega wants you to forget this game exists, right? But okay, fine. I finally boot up the game, right? And I play, and I get through the first level, and then I die. And what happens if you die in the middle of Wave Ocean? Oh, you get to start the entire game over again. Go through the entire cinematic, both cinematics, and then you get thrown into Soliana. And I only know this because I had to do it like 5 or 6 times. You go and you meet Tails, and then you do the stupid ring minigame for the old man that's tells you his name for some stupid reason, and so that you can get enough rings to buy this weird item from the shop that's called a light chip, and I don't know why, because it has nothing to do with the power that it gives you. Well, I guess it gives you the light dash or something, but why don't just call it the light dash? Why does it have to be called this other item? I don't know. And then you have to use that to travel to the Wave Ocean. So, I had to do that so many fucking times. And I don't even want to play this game.
Ash, your dedication is just something else, man. If that had happened to me twice, I would have taken the disc out and snapped it. I would have been like, nope, I can't. Nope. That was one of the single most beautiful rants I have ever heard. And I don't know how to respond to that. All I know is that I feel your pain. I just think it's admirable that you went to that much trouble dealing with a lack of a PS. You have a PS4 and it's not backwards compatible. You bought it for the 360 and took it to Bose and it wasn't backwards compatible. It wouldn't run on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that was amazing. Thank you for that. And to everybody listening, just take notes. Don't play this game. Please don't. I it was funny because we went into this huge segue just completely forgetting about the game. And honestly, that's the perfect episode for this game because it's so forgettable. Just talk about it for 5 minutes and then
and the loading screens. I forgot to tell you guys. Every loading screen is legit like 30 seconds.
Oh, dude.
Every single time. And here's the thing, okay? You play this stupid fucking ring minigame in the first area, okay, of the game. And here's what happens. You talk to the old man. He gives you a little bit of dialogue. Loading screen. Stop. You're just staring at the screen for a full, 30 seconds. And when you're in the middle of a game, it that doesn't sound like a lot. But when you're in the middle of a game, it's a lot. And then you finally, you get on and to that area, the next load, and it's just the man talking for a little bit. And then another loading screen, and then the minigame starts. What the fuck? Did you just have to load a conversation? That's it?
Oh, man, it shows you just how much effort Sega put into this game. Do you think they apologized appropriately? Was Sonic Colors the next game to come out after that, or was it Sonic Unleashed?
Sonic and the Secret Rings, I think, was the next game to come out, because that's the one they were developing at the same time.
Dude, that game was fire, though. I loved that game. I played it so many times on the Wii, and the final boss was it was this giant genie, if I remember correctly. And then once you beat the first stage, you go into, Supersonic mode, and you have to, use the power of the chaos. We're not even talking about Sonic 06 anymore. I'm talking...
Believe it or not, it was released in place of an aborted attempt to port Sonic 06 to the Wii.
So, thank you, Sega, for doing that. Because if you guys had put Sonic 06 on the Wii, it would have been an even worse experience. It's like,
oh, God.
It's like if I tried to play... Okay, so you guys know how adamant I am about Call of Duty and how much I love it. My first COD experience was Black Ops 1 on the Wii, man. It was atrocious. Me and my friend Zach in high school, and it's funny because my name is also Zach. I had 4 friends in high school named Zach. It was crazy. But my buddy Zach...
You have 4 friends now named Zach.
That is true. I still talk to every single one of those guys now that I think about it. They're all great people. But he and I played Black Ops 1 together on the Wii for a long time, and then we both got Xboxes, and we just tore it up on... I got an Xbox late into Modern Warfare 3 and then Black Ops 2. But that being said, if they put Sonic 06 on the Wii, it would just be an even worse Call of Duty Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
And that makes me... I'm
the
not
thought
Ultron.
makes you angry.
I can't... I'm not Ultron, so I can physically throw up in my mouth. But I watched Age of Ultron a little while ago, so
my God.
It was great.
I did a rewatch of the MCU fairly recently. Well, I'm still in the middle of it, but yeah. I'm trying the chronological order thing. I don't prefer it. I prefer release order, and I think that's the order that everybody should watch it in. But
oh, yeah.
Chronological order was a nice experiment, for someone who's already watched it. So I'm trying it. But anyway, we digress. We're talking about anything except for Sonic 06.
Which is the perfect way to talk about Sonic 06 to keep our sanity. But I want to talk about some of the characters that you can play in the game.
Right.
You can play as Sonic. You can play as Shadow. You can play as Rouge the Bat. You can play as Miles Tails Prowler, E123 Omega, everybody's favorite robot, and Blaze the Cat.
Yeah. And
I hate Blaze the Cat. Blaze the Cat is the most... I mean, I guess they tried to make her cute. I think that's what they were going for, but she seems pretty much... pointless. I mean, she's an anthropomorphic cat and a princess hailing from an alternate dimension, so I mean, it's kind of cool that she's a regent of the Soul Empire and an appointed guardian of the Soul Emeralds, but she's basically similar to Sonic and Knuckles put together. And
you play as her in the first Silver episode level.
Yep, you do.
She's kind of like the Tails that you're going to switch back to and forth from. So again, you're playing this new Silver level, and I'm getting used to Silver's telekinetic powers, and a much less fast-paced level than I was playing as Sonic, right?
Oh yeah,
which is fine.
That's how it's supposed to be.
The concept is nice. Yeah, it's just not executed well. But then, halfway through, you play as Blaze the Cat, and it just going from one style to the other was so weird to me.
Yeah, you're right. But, okay, as much as I dislike Blaze as a character, her pyrokinesis is really cool. I like the fact that she has the ability to create and manipulate fire, basically in any way she wants. But she's... calm and elegant characters in a Sonic game for me. You know, especially
Okay.
especially ones that like conceal their true emotions and they're like super shut off and just like blah, 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 blah. Because I mean
Oh,
Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, they're all outgoing and they're like almost nutty. Of course, Sonic and Tails are very, very like pure-hearted, but they're not calm and elegant. They just run around and tear crap up, and it's a wonderful thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's cool that there were so many characters that were here in the game. It's just not a single one of them is done well. I mean, you think
No.
at least Sonic would be developed better than the others, but they're not. And maybe that's where this game went wrong. If they had such a limited development time, maybe they should have just focused on playing as Sonic and, you know, not have all the other playable characters here. Or if you're going to have all the playable characters, then you need the time and the team to do it. How the fuck are you going to churn out this game? And by the way, this game is so much longer than it needs to be. Because just when you think you're done, okay, you don't have just the one Sonic episode. You also have a Shadow episode. And then a Silver episode. Or other way around. Or whatever. I think they unlock at different points.
Is it a longer game because it's a longer game, or is it a longer game because it's terrible and it's hard to get through?
It's terrible and it's hard to get through, and whenever you get through it, you're like, oh shit, I gotta do this 2 more times, and then that's not even it. There's the final episode, right? And then apparently they even had the audacity to add DLC.
Oh my gosh, despicably low content. Oh, I love it.
Can we talk about how when you're playing the game, even in the best parts of the game, which are the well done cinematic cutscenes, right?
Yeah.
That's saying something. The best parts of the games are non-playable, right? But even those aren't good because they don't belong in the Sonic world. You look at it and you're playing. It looks like Final Fantasy. If I hadn't gone through several menus that reminded me I was playing Sonic 06, I'd have thought I put it the wrong game in my console and
Dude,
I booted up Final Fantasy. But then Sonic comes in, and it's just like, what were they thinking? If they wanted to return the root to roots, why are they doing this weird world where Sonic interacts with humans, and not in a funny, goofy way like Mario Odyssey did it, but in a totally serious, this woman wants to have sex with a blue hedgehog way.
Absolutely. I mean, you had humans that you could interact with in Sonic Adventure, but it was very short and to the point. You didn't actually develop any relationships with any humans. It was all, except for Dr. Eggman, you know, it was all just playable characters in the game that you interacted with. And I loved that. I thought that was great. But Sonic 06 took it way too far. Because I remember that exact moment you're talking about, Ash, and I turned the game off, I think. I was just like, nope. Nope, that's bestiality. I don't want it.
They even have like a mission, a trial of love mission, or test of love, or whatever the fuck it is, and you have to actually choose between Elise and what's her face, the one that Amy, which by the way has no bearing on the story, but they give you that. No, they're blatant about it. You know, this is a Sonic. And this is a fucking hedgehog and a human that want to bang each other.
What if they had okay, press X to interact.
And even a child is going to be disturbed by that, especially a child who is this game's target demographic.
Either they'll be disturbed by that demographic, or they'll be too young to understand it, and they'll think that's how it works, and they'll look for the nearest blue hedgehog and just get freak on.
I don't know. You grew up with this. What did you think?
Okay, so I think I was 10 years old when the Xbox 360 came out, and I didn't get a next generation console until I was in high school. So I didn't play this game until like 9th or 10th grade, and so at that point I was like 14 or 15, and I was just like, this is weird. I don't like this, because at that point I had already been crushing on so many people that it was not reciprocated at all. And so I was just kind of in my own little world, and when I saw that, I was like, nope. I mean, I finished the game, but I was very disturbed, and at that point, I turned it off to take a break, because I was like, okay, that's enough video games for the day. They're trying to create a match between Elise and Sonic, and that is not going to happen. I don't like this.
Yeah, so And Sega wants you to forget that this ever happened. They took it down. It's not available for sale. Well, I mean, you wouldn't think it would be because it's a 360 game, but you can give up on a digital version of this game. Again, you have to load a physical disc into your system, which will probably break it. And and yeah, and even that you have to find used. I mean, and they're not easy to find. I think they probably did what they did with all those ET cartridges. They probably pulled every physical copy they had in storage and buried them in a landfill. I bet you anything.
There's like a big Sonic 06 landfill over in Japan.
Along right next to Super Hornio Brothers.
They're probably scheduled for like universal demolition at the end of 2025 when they just can't stand the fact that there's still semblance of this game. They're gonna wipe it from the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
But right before they do it, they're gonna release a comic of Sonic and Elise. Answer everyone's burning questions about this loving relationship.
And you know what sucks is I haven't really
The whole game?
I haven't really gotten into the Sonic franchise. I mean, I played some of the classics, never got very far, but other than that, I haven't really played a Sonic game. I've certainly never played one all the way through. So this is kind of one of my first experiences with the Sonic game that I'm actually played a decent amount of. I don't know, actually. I probably didn't play very much at all. I made it only probably halfway through the Sonic campaign and played like 2 episodes of the Silver campaign, and I got bored with both, and I thought, I don't want to do this. I'm not having fun.
It's not fun. I mean, Sonic is really fun, but Sonic 06 is not a game I will ever play again. I didn't even finish it for this podcast. I was just like, I watched a playthrough of it online, and even then I was just not having a good time.
At least they cut out the loading screens or whatever. At least the long play that I was watching on YouTube did.
Well, yeah, mine too. But the thing is, the guy that I was watching, I won't reveal his name because I don't want anybody to judge him for liking this game. But he loved it. He was having a great time. And he glitched out like twice.
By the way, the person that I was watching was actually pretty good at it. Bub was watching with me. We were here in the studio, and he actually apparently had played through the game enough times to know the game, and you could tell, and was able to play through it smoothly. So at some point, I guess you can compensate for the broken controls like people used to do with older games, and you can become a master of it knowing the limitations. But
Super Metroid. Sorry.
It is actually similar to Super Metroid, except Super Metroid was developed with a semblance of like effort. It was just burdened by the lack of technological progress at the time.
And Super Metroid was a good game.
Yeah, and it was a good game. This was developed in a time where good controls definitely existed, and they didn't even try. You can see where the effort went to. Nothing. Like a total of 12 cutscenes in the game that look great, but to portray a story you don't want to see or care about.
Yep, and that's why I will never play this game again. After this podcast, I will burn it from my mind forever, and we will never speak of this again. Now, in my experience with Collateral Gaming, this is by far the worst game we've ever talked about.
Yeah.
So, at least there are some bad games that have replayability. This does not.
I mean, we did Action 52, and we did Zelda CDI.
Okay, Zelda CDI is fun to play just to make fun of.
It's fun to watch just to make fun of. It's fun to watch a playthrough or just watch the cutscenes. This game doesn't even have that quality to it. It's not fun to watch or play.
No, it's not. It's just a game that needs to die. And, God, I really wish we would have pulled Mikey in on this episode, because he would have pulled out the Bible of Sonic 06 hate. And oh, man. God.
Well, I mean, and even with this guy that I'm watching on this playthrough playing skillfully, and all the loading screens being cut, the playthrough still manages to be 11 hours long. But I think it included, like, I think half of it was DLC. So I didn't even watch that half of the video because I don't give a fuck about the DLC.
As should nobody.
I don't give a fuck about the game. You think I can even give a fuck about the DLC? No.
It's very hard to, stay attached to it at all. Like, it's hard to even Oh, God. I feel sick, like, talking about this. It's making me uneasy. Not actually. No, I'm totally fine.
The City of Water, Soleana. A secret that a princess holds.
Son of Soleana, guide and watch over us with your eternal light.
The power which can destroy the world.
I've come here to obtain the secret of the flames of disaster from you, and to take the miracle gems that are the key to its secrets, the Chaos Emerald. Now, Princess, this way, please.
Trigger.
This game is putrid, and I don't really know much more that we can say about it, but we're going to figure it out. But what I do know is that they took a better turn with Sonic games after this one. I really enjoyed Sonic Unleashed. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked the aspect of Wolf Sonic. I really liked Sonic Colors. I thought that was a really ingenious game.
It seems like after this, they were trying to just experiment with a lot of different things. And
which is okay, but they just have to know exactly what they're doing.
And then I think Sonic Generations came out, which was a kind of a return to form. I've heard. So I know that game is actually well received.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I really like the remakes of the original Sonic levels, especially Angel Hill or Angel Island, Green Hill Zone.
Dude, I have the original Sonic the Hedgehog on my iPhone. It's one of the iOS, and I was having a blast with it the other day.
Yeah, it's fun. You can actually, if you have a PS4 controller, Ash, you can connect it via Bluetooth and play with that.
Oh, fuck yeah. That would actually be better, because it is a little bit difficult to touchscreen controls, but Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is basic enough that, like, you can do it.
Yeah, it's run, jump, and dash. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Those old games were so much fun, dude. Oh, my goodness. And you felt so accomplished when you dashed by that sign at the end of the level, and it spun around real fast.
Yes.
And you cleared it.
You know what? Yes.
I am done. I apologize.
No, in this game, I think it tried to capture the feeling of that, but in some ways, but in other ways, it thought, no, fuck that. We're gonna do something completely different. I don't know, but anyway, you know what actually did capture the spirit of the original games was the movie that came out. Now imagine that. Okay, I can't believe I'm about to say this. A video game movie did so much better than an actual video game from the series.
Absolutely. That movie was phenomenal. I cannot wait for the second one because Idris Elba is going to play Knuckles, and I love Idris Elba.
Oh, God. Oh, he was great in the Suicide Squad. Go check that out on Collateral Cinema, by the way. We just did an At the Movies episode on it. Film of the year for me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it with my girlfriend, so I haven't seen it yet. But I've heard that it's his best role from you, Ash. That it's one of Idris Elba's best roles.
Dude, 100%.
I don't know what his character's name is, though.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, there you go, okay.
Bloodsport, yep. But, yeah, anywho, the Sonic movie was great. And I'm really excited to see the sequel. And with Idris Elba as Knuckles, I'm actually really interested to see that. I really hope that they in some way reference the Ugandan Knuckles meme. They've got to. In some way,
somebody's gonna ask them if they know the way, dude. You know it's gonna happen.
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way? Oh, why does that meme exist? Oh,
I don't know. Why does Sonichu exist?
why does what?
Sonichu exist.
I don't know what that is.
Chris Chan.
Oh, who is Chris Chan?
Oh, you don't know.
Okay,
I'm gonna let you look that up, and we're not gonna talk about it.
No. I know what it is, and we are not speaking about that. I just remembered who Chris Chan is, and okay, yeah.
It had to be brought up because we're talking about Sonic.
Oh God.
What did you think about the soundtrack for this game?
It's okay.
Okay.
It doesn't make up for the game.
No,
But
and that
did like the Wave Ocean soundtrack. I always like tropical themed music. It's really cool, and they do have really catchy jingles for the Sonic games. My favorite being the Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure. That's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite themes of all time, and they sort of captured that essence with Sonic 06, but it wasn't quite as impactful, and it sounded actually a lot more processed, and I hated that. Because you know me, I have a degree as a performance major, so I've played in groups, and the music sounds nothing like that. It sounds entirely synthesized, which games at that point were already starting to use, real instruments, and I mean Sonic Adventure used real instruments. A lot of it was synthesized, but Emerald Coast, nah, man, those were steel drums.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the soundtrack wasn't bad. That opening theme kind of sounds way more epic than it should. It really does. But it's not like it's kind of over. I mean, epic in like an overplayed way. Like this is trying too hard to be epic.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you got to go with the flow when it comes to music. You can't put too much effort into epicness. You just got to let it happen.
You know that the cast of the Sonic X anime series were the ones that did the roles.
It's a good move. That's a good show.
So, did they use Roger Craig Smith in this one?
I don't know. Let me look that up really quick because I didn't care enough to know.
Yeah, because I want to say the talent isn't bad. They're just written so bad. No, like seriously, like the writing in this game. We haven't even really touched upon the awkward dialogue. It's so bad. Think of every bad anime English dub you've ever watched, and like magnify that by 10, and you might come close to understanding the suffering that you have to experience to sit through a cutscene of this game. In the later stages of watching that playthrough, I started doubling the speed on YouTube to 2 times.
Okay.
I didn't want to suffer through it longer than I needed to.
Well, let me see. I don't think he did Sonic 06. Hang on, Sonic 06 voice actors.
Yeah, they don't show you those things. Okay, here we go. 2006.
Jason Griffith.
Yeah, okay, so you don't even get... I was about to say, I was like, is this is the voice of Ezio? How the fuck is he this bad? No, okay, it's not. But
no,
again, it's by no lack of talent on the part of the voice actors, though. It's really just the writing. They're forced to make these incredibly stilted lines of dialogue.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, it's just bad writing. The voice actors did what they could. It's just bad writing, bad editing, bad animating, bad everything. God, Sega, I'm trying to limit my curse words. So I know that I don't have to on this podcast, but I don't want innocent ears hearing my words. It's just terrible in every way, shape, or form. Every subject that we come to, Ash, I'm going to come to the same conclusion. It's awful, and it needs to not exist.
No, certainly. Yeah, the Sonic is kind of at its best, I think, when there isn't much of a story, you know?
Yeah.
When it's just sort of this goofy plot that doesn't take itself too seriously, that barely even exists at all in some of the original games, and it still works. This does not. It tries to be epic and cool, and Sonic is not those things. I mean, I think that's why I've always respected the Mario franchise a little bit more than the Sonic franchise. is that like Mario doesn't take itself seriously. It knows it's a kid's game. Sonic kind of fumbles with that a little bit, or it has in the past, you know?
Oh yeah, the creators definitely think that Sonic is badass enough.
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah, like that game was amazing. I loved that game.
Really?
But yeah, I loved it. It was great. And
Oh,
it took a
damn.
it took a darker turn. I'm guessing you don't. Oh, buddy, that might be a really good bonus round to have at some point.
I've just heard
have
bad
our
things about it, okay?
Oh, if you haven't played it, brother, you need to, bro. You literally use firearms in that game, and it's awesome. It's great. Any game that you can shoot with a hedgehog it's already a 9 out of 10 at least.
You know, Shadow the Hedgehog could be a good, like, ironic game in 2021.
Yeah,
maybe we could try that. Maybe we need to do something like that, because
we could do something funny with it when I come to Texas in a couple of weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if you guys noticed this
Oh.
or knew this, but I met Ash last year when I did the Metroid Prime Trilogy review with him. But or I started working with Ash when we did that, and I had known him for a little while, but I've never actually met Ash in person. So later on this month and into the earlier part of September, I'm going to be going to Texas to hang out with him in person, and we are going to play video games, record, and just have a good time. Get to meet everybody. I'll get to meet Megan. I'll get to meet Alan. I'll get to meet Hazel Bean, hopefully, at some point.
Yeah, you should be able to. I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But if not, video games.
Yeah.
Lots of video games and lots of talking.
video games. and
gonna
yeah,
be fun.
we've got to record something, man. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do something for the podcast. Probably end up being like a bonus round episode during our like our interseason break. Yeah, this will be good. But we've got so many things to play, and honestly, I want to knock out some of those Let's Plays that we have on the back burner. I guess we don't really have much more to say about Sonic 06. So let's get into
the franchise as a whole.
The franchise as a whole? Okay.
Well, we've got the second movie coming out. I mean, the first movie was a home run. I loved it. I thought it was great. So what do you think we can expect from the second movie? Obviously, they've put in the ability to teleport with rings. Obviously, Sonic is fast enough to literally stand there while hundreds of missiles are right about to hit him, and he can still get out of it. So he's incredibly powerful. And it's very, very obvious from this movie that he is an alien. It's very, very obvious, and I hope that they take that story and they go somewhere with it, or go somewhere farther with it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, definitely, dude. I want to see Super Sonic. I want to see Super Sonic in the movie.
I think that'll be if they do a trilogy, that'll be part 3.
You think so?
I think this movie, since Knuckles and Tails are supposed to be a part of it, I think this might be where they start discovering Chaos Emeralds or something, and then in the third movie, he could go Supersonic. Because Jim Carrey's going to come back as Eggman. He was phenomenal. I love Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Fantastic.
Yeah, we all knew from the trailer, like, the expectations were set that he was going to carry the movie, but it ended up being that the movie was actually great, and all the other actors came to, show brilliant performances as well, and the team actually listened and decided to change the appearance of Sonic to more match his traditional design, specifically to appease the fans, because they didn't like the original design. And that's dedication. That's listening to your fans. That's what we want to see more of. And ultimately, we got a fantastic movie as a result. If you want to hear more about our thoughts on that, we actually do have an At the Movies episode on Sonic the Hedgehog with Collateral Cinema crossover. So
this is very true. Also, this was a redemption for James Marsden as an actor, in my opinion, because he did those Hop movies with the Easter Bunny, and they were awful. But now he's Tom Wachowski. Is that how you say his name in this movie?
I think so.
Tom Wachowski. He does a phenomenal job. Him and Ben Schwartz chemistry on screen was just phenomenal. And I know that Ben Schwartz was just voice acting for Sonic, and Ben Schwartz did an amazing job. He really did. He convinced us that he can be Sonic, and I love it. And it was a pretty good cast, too. I mean, Neil McDonough as Major Bennington. I love Neil McDonough. If you've ever seen Walking Tall, well, that's the only movie I could think of. Or if you've watched the Arrow series, like the Arrowverse, with Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, he plays Damien Dark.
Okay.
He's like a rogue League of Assassins. He's phenomenal. You've got Lee Majub, I think that's how you say it, as Agent Stone. Tika Sumpter as Maddie, James Marsden's on-screen wife. Jim Carrey, of course, as Dr. Eggman. Natasha Rothwell as Rachel. Adam Pally as Wade Whipple. Best name in the entire movie, by the way, Wade Whipple.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It's a
Sonic
pretty
movie.
good cast.
The Sonic movie was great. What are the Sonic games that you were most that are kind of like your fondest memories?
Oh, definitely Sonic Adventure. That is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, because when I first started playing it, I got halfway through the game and our Dreamcast broke. So I couldn't finish it. And a couple of years later, we got a new Dreamcast. We ordered one because Amazon was just getting started. And like all of that stuff was just starting to flood into Amazon. I'll look at my accuracy on that statement, but I know that we got the new Dreamcast over Amazon, and it came in, and I was finally able to play the rest of this game, and I was on stage 5, Twinkle Park, because this robot of Eggman's kidnaps Amy and takes her into Twinkle Park, and Sonic's like, "No, Amy," and you have to chase her in. And it starts out that Twinkle Park is one of my favorite stages in the entire Sonic the Hedgehog series. Because when you go up the elevator into Twinkle Park, you have to chase Amy in bumper cars. Like, you have to go through this racetrack that's in outer space and chase down Amy. And once you get launched out of the cart that you're riding in, you drop down this hole into a roller coaster seat, and it takes you around a roller coaster that leads you to the beginning of Twinkle Park. And it is awesome. That whole stage is really cool. You have to, like, climb Twinkle Park and scale the roof of the castle in order to get around, and use your Lightspeed dash to zip around to the containment unit or the area where they're at, and you'll catch on and move on to the next stage. But that game, Sonic Adventure 2, was amazing. One of my favorite Sonic games of all time is Sonic Heroes. I love the ability to switch between Knuckles and Tails and Sonic at any given time and use their abilities, and you're constantly working together as a team. Like, if you're playing as Knuckles, you can literally roll Tails and Sonic up into balls and shoot them at enemies, and it's really cool. When you're Tails, all three of you stack up, and basically Knuckles grabs onto Sonic's legs, and Sonic grabs onto Tails' legs, and Tails flies them all the way around and launches them as... It's like each character has a specific function to turn each other character into a projectile, and I loved that gameplay mechanic. And there was a light team, which was that team. There was a dark team, which was like Sonic, or Shadow, Eggman's robot, and Rouge the Bat. There was a green team, which was like, I think it was Froggy. Those details. Oh no, that was like a crocodile. I don't remember. What's the name of the crocodile? You remember his name?
No, I don't.
But it was like a crocodile, Blaze the Cat, and some other character. And then there was a completely other team that I just completely space on. But Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes were my highlights of the Sonic franchise. What about you?
Like I said before, I don't have as much experience with the Sonic franchise growing up. The only ones that I had played were... my aunt had a collection on her original Xbox that they had like installed they had modded it. And so it had all these ROMs on it. And so I played Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through 3. I know I played... like Sonic and Knuckles. I played Sonic 3D Blast. Yeah, I played a lot of them. I think the one that I liked the most was 3D Blast, actually, because it was the only one I could get relatively far in.
I don't think I ever played Sonic 3D Blast, actually. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it was like the first 3D game that ever came out. And it looks polygonal, but it's fun.
It's on the Saturn, right? The Sega Saturn?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'll ever go back and play that, but I might as well try it. If it's the first 3D Sonic game, then...
Wait, no, the Sega Saturn didn't even have any Sonic games, did they?
Yeah, it says Sonic 3D Blast, known in Europe...
For the Genesis and Sega Saturn, okay.
Yeah, it's Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. That's what it was called in Japan and Europe.
Yep, I see that now. Yeah, so, I mean, this is a Sega Genesis game that was ported over to Saturn. So yeah, for a Genesis game playing in full 3D is actually really cool. The 16-bit era did kind of tweak with that, but I don't think it's like true 3D. I think they still use sprites. They're just, or they could do like what they did with the original Resident Evil games, where it was all just textures.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why not?
But anyway, yes, Sonic 3D Blast I think was my favorite out of those. But I played quite a bit of like the original, game and some of the other sequels and spin-off classics. But yeah, no, that was my my like experience growing up with Sonic was totally just that classic era. Never really played anything since then until more recently now when I played this game, and I've been playing the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on mobile, but that's about it. I'd like to get into the series actually, because I feel like I was kind of deprived of it in my childhood.
Well, I mean, if you have a chance, I'd definitely recommend it, because you'd have a lot of fun with those games.
Clearly has its ups and downs. Definitely with the oversaturation of games. I mean, you're going to have some winners every once in a while, but then, you're going to have some not as winners. But that's just from what I've heard, honestly. And I already heard how bad this game was. I came into it with that full expectation set, and it delivered. What are your final thoughts on Sonic 06?
This game is ass. Don't play it unless you're looking for a meme of a time. So if you are purely a self troll and you hate yourself, play this game, please, by all means. But if you're looking for quality gameplay, riveting story, wonderful controls that help you easily maneuver your character so that you can achieve your goal, and just an overall immaculate gaming experience, don't go anywhere near this game. It's a piece of crap. It's terrible.
Brilliant.
It's Sonic! Dude. It's terrible.
It's Sonic. All right, guys. Well, coming up next on Collateral Gaming, we are going to be talking about the Quantic Dream games. That's right. It's going to be our season finale on Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain. So I'm excited to talk about this pair of games. I think we're going to try to throw Detroit Become Human in a bonus round there. When Zach comes down, I think we should definitely do our bonus round commentary on Apex.
Oh, yeah, dude, that'd be a lot of fun. Especially because I'm really bad at that game.
I fully intend to do that. I'm just kind of waiting for the right time to do it. And that may be the perfect time. But that's what to expect from us if you are following Collateral Cinema as well. We just released our season finale on The Interview, and then we did an At the Movies episode on the Suicide Squad. And man, that was so much fun. Go check out that episode right now. I think I plugged it earlier too. After this, we're moving into Collateral Gaming Season 4 and Collateral Cinema Season 5. Got a lot of really, really, really excellent titles to announce. Things that we're super excited about. We're planning our schedule out, and we're going to reveal our season premiere on the season finale. We'll reveal what we're opening with. But man, I'm so excited to get into it. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, feedback on your platform of choice, and follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find Collateral Gaming wherever you get your podcasts, including where you're listening right now. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Pandora. Anything else to add, Zachary?
No, man, you pretty much covered all of it. Don't play Sonic 06. Listen, I really am thankful that you guys have listened to us ramble on about such a horrid game. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening. We always appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen to us ramble on about random crap. And it's always a good time. But yeah, that's about all I got. Just don't play Sonic 06. Don't do it.
Don't do it. I think I omitted the whole my final thoughts bit. It's bad. Don't play it. That's my final thoughts. So
it's really bad. It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, tell me about it. Well, that being said, I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Zachary Gio.
This is Collateral Gaming, and we are out.
Out!
Come on, let the future He's a rocket and he's ready to go, cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and his stereo. That's fast, putting on the show. Don't wanna get yourself together, there's no time to rest. And if you put the time in, he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man, in his world more is less. And if you wanna test him, best bring your best. Don't make me spell it out, bring your best. In this world, where life is strong. In this world, life's an open book. In this world, where compromise does not exist. In his world, the rules every step meets the rest. In this world, where one is all. In this world, never fear the fall. In this world, where compromise does not exist. His world of wolves every step meets the rest. Running it back again, well, what'd you expect? Coming out to win 10 out of 10. Got a real rough neck, spikes up his livery and straps on his shoes. Cause he's the best there ever was, haven't you heard the news? Intergalactic continental champ, running things. Hyperactive, instrumental in pulling strings. He's the one who understands when the tides will swing. So he's breaking down doors, never far away. Come on and psych yourself up, cause it's time to play. Bounce to the beats and the rhymes, cause they're here to stay. The one and only marathon man, living the day. Rolling up, coming fast, and they'll blow you away. Because the pressures of this world, they can take their toll. And it's tough to get away when they take a hold. The only way to break free is to break the mold. You can't stop now, rock and roll. Don't stop now, come on, rock and roll. In this world, gotta make your own where life is strong. In this world, life is just a game you play. Life's an open book. In this world, where compromise does not exist. His world of wolves every step meets the rest. In this world, gotta make your own where one is all. In this world, life is just a game you play. Never fear the fall. In this world, where compromise does not exist. His world of wolves every step meets the rest. Like the fuse on his rocket and he's ready to go. Cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. Intergalactic continental champ, running things. Hyperactive, instrumental in pulling strings. Never fear the fall. The only way to break free is to break the mold. You can't stop now, rock and roll. I said you can't stop now, rock and roll. Don't stop now, come on and rock and roll.
Collateral Gaming is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.